Hey guys, welcome to Girl Take Note. I am Shaunie Sanders, your host, of course, and today I get to share with you guys a story that is my own personal story. And honestly, this is something that I don't even normally share publicly. I don't put a lot of my feelings out there. I don't really put myself out there, and I don't share these type of personal stories. And I think it's just from fear of being judged, fear of looked at as being unprepared and not ready for certain things. But I felt like it was a necessary story to tell simply because, one, it is me releasing it and it's me not carrying it as if it's some type of shame I'm carrying, right? And two is that I don't go through this kind of thing alone. People go through this all the time. It's not something people don't experience. It really is. But it was really just hard for me to talk about because I never thought I would experience this. And I think that's why it was hard for me to talk about it and hard for me to share it with people, because it's not something that I want to share, but I felt necessary to just kind of get off my chest. And so I recorded this already, and I recorded it on my personal channel, my Shaunie Sanders channel. For those you don't know, make sure you follow me on all socials and YouTube. And it got a lot of attention. And it got a lot of questions. It had a lot of questions and a lot of comments also on this episode, on the video that I did on the episode. But I try to answer as many questions as I could, because when we make our own choices for our life, it is our choices, right? And we deal with whatever comes with those choices, whether good or bad. And we have to deal with whatever consequences comes with those choices. And so that's what I did. And so this episode is properly titled From Dream Job to Layoff, because I experienced a layoff, which I've never been laid off before. Never have I experienced this type of thing before. Never have I ever been called into a meeting about a termination of your job, of your position completely. And so the whole thing caught me off guard. But I encourage you to listen to this episode with an open mind, with some understanding. And just know that it happens to all of us. It happens to a lot of us. It might not be all, because I never thought it would happen to me, because I've never been laid off before and I've never been without a job. But this is my honest truth. This is what I wanted to share, and this is how I wanted to do it. So I really do hope you enjoy this episode. And as I said, I ask that you listen to it or watch it with understanding and consideration, and be kind, right? And offer some advice, offer some encouraging words, because I think at a time like this, when people go through hardship, when people face hard things, people need to be encouraged. Not necessarily, you should have did better. Nobody want that finger pointing and you should have did this differently, but people want to be encouraged along the way. And so I hope you guys can do that for me. And without further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you next time. This is Girl Take Note, a podcast for women who are looking to turn their dreams into reality. Welcome back to my channel. I am Shaunie Sanders. For those of you who are new here, welcome. And I'm so glad you decided to tune in and watch this video. Today's video is about a very personal situation that happened to me. And normally I am not the girl that shares her personal business, her personal life on social media. But I decided to share this story simply because, one, I know I'm not alone that go through stuff like this. And also, if it can help someone else, then why not share? That's what I look at when people like to come on and tell their own personal stories of things that have happened to them in their lives and affected them. They do it not just to be showy or not just for views and likes, but also it's therapeutic, and they do it to maybe see if they can help someone else get through what they've been through or what they're currently going through. So let me get the courage to tell this story, because I'm going to make sure I don't cry while I'm doing it. I can tell you this before I start this story. I want to say this. I don't know about you, but I would never be put in a position where someone else can take something from me. Never again in my life. And so this story starts with in August of 2023. I had been working for a really great company. I'm not going to say the company names, of course. I've been working for a really great company. And I mean, I enjoyed it. I traveled. I did a lot of great things, met a lot of great people, worked for a great boss. It was just an absolute dream job, high 6-figure salary, just really living my best life of what I thought. And then August, my boss popped up with a meeting on my calendar on a Friday, unexpectedly. But of course, I've been doing a great job so I'm not really thinking nothing of it. I'm not thinking it's something that's going to happen, right? I'm just thinking like, oh, maybe he just got something you want to tell me for the weekend. So I proceed to the meeting, and before we even talk, I said, hey, how are you? He said, hey, how are you? He said, oh, before we get started, let me pull in an HR rep. And so when he did that, my heart sank. I was like, oh my God, what did I do wrong? So here I am just thinking about, did I do something wrong? Am I getting fired? Like, what's happening? Like, what's going on? Right? HR rep comes on. He says, hi, I know him. Great guy, speaks to him. And then my boss proceeded to tell me that, Chantel, you've been doing a great job. We really appreciate everything you've done with the company and the organization, but unfortunately, we're going to have to eliminate your role. And I was like, okay. I mean, like, what do you say when your boss tell you you're going to eliminate your role? Eliminate the role completely, right? I mean, I guess when you get fired, you feel the same way, but it's just like, what was I supposed to say? When I tell you, I was like dumbfounded and like just stuck, like I could not believe it. And so he just kind of proceeded to kind of explain why they're eliminating the role, and then asked me if I had any questions. And I'm just in such awe that I couldn't even think of not one thing to ask, which is so unlike me. If you knew me, I couldn't think of nothing to ask. And so I was like, okay, so what are the next steps? That's all I asked. HR proceeds to come in and talk about severance, talk about last paycheck, talk about medical, talk about all the stuff they talk about when they're laying you off, right? And it was just such a shocker to me because I've never been laid off from a job before. I've never been laid off. I've never been fired from positions. I had a friend who's been fired, laid off 4 or 5 times, but I've never experienced it. And I'm going to tell you this, it is such a punch in the gut feeling when you get laid off or when you're fired from a position. Because I don't know about you guys, but for me, the reason why it hit me so hard because I was completely unprepared for this layoff. And when I mean unprepared, I mean, I didn't have nothing saved. I had bills coming in every month, and I got a home, family, all this stuff, right? And I just couldn't believe what was happening to me at this moment in my life. And so after HR said everything they said, told me what my last paycheck was going to be, told me what my severance was going to be, I kind of just said, well, you know what, guys, thank you so much for the opportunity. I appreciate everything you guys have done for me. Thank you for showing me all these new things that I'll be able to take with me in my career. All I ask is that I can get a reference for the next position. And of course, my boss said yes. Because like, what else am I going to say, guys? Really? What else am I going to say? There's nothing more you can say. I wasn't going to cry. I wasn't going to give nobody that satisfaction of seeing me cry or beg for nobody's position. I wasn't going to do it. And so we hung up the phone, and I went upstairs and I told my husband, I said, you know what? I just got fired. I just got laid off. And I was just in complete disbelief about it. And I just thought to myself, wow. And I'm gonna tell you, this lasted for like a split second. I was in that disbelief. I was in an instant state of anxiety, an instant state of worry of like, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? How am I going to make it? How am I going to survive? The one thing that I had coming in on a monthly basis is gone. Now, mind you, I have a podcast, like I told you guys, Girl Take No podcast, all about taking a leap into entrepreneurship, leaving your 9-to-5, going to entrepreneurship so you can turn your passions into profits. And I was still working on my passion. So my passion wasn't making me any profits yet. And I was like, oh my God, I have the podcast. I have these other things I'm trying to do. Nothing is bringing me in any income yet. So what are you going to do, Shaunie? What exactly are you going to do? And I don't know about you guys, but when someone takes something from you, your main source of income from you, that saying that we're all one paycheck away from homelessness is so true. Because once the money stops coming in, bills don't stop. They keep rolling in. And then what do you do when you don't have any money coming in? I was eligible for unemployment. I went and got unemployment. I was eligible for food stamps. I went and put myself on food stamps. I had to utilize every service that I could utilize. Everything that my tax dollars paid into, I had to utilize it now. And I've never been on food stamps. I never had to go on unemployment before. I never had to look for programs to help pay household bills and all these different things that I had to do. And it's been a humbling, I can't even say it was because I'm still currently dealing with certain things. And it's been a humbling experience. It really has. It's been an experience, one that shows you who's there for you truly. Everyone that you've been there for, that you showed up for, they will not always show up for you when it's your time. I think that's one of the hardest lessons you can learn when you go through hardship. When you face something so devastating that you realize everyone that I helped, everyone that I provided for, everyone that I gave something to, now in return can't help me or won't. Right? And so that was a shocker. But I believe the main thing that hurt me the most is that I put myself in a position where someone can take my financial resources from me. Someone can now take my home from me. Someone now can take my car from me. Because when you don't have money coming in, how do you hold on to everything? I mean, companies are only going to work with you but for so long, right? Until they get to the point where like, okay, we're deferring, we're moving things back, we're shifting things around, but now you're going to have to start paying something. And so I can tell you now that it's been almost, 8 months, and I still haven't found nothing new, a new job. And I'm going to tell you guys why. And I realized that in order for me to have true success, in order for me to truly be happy and have joy in my life and truly design the life that I want, I have to figure out a way to make my own money. I have to become that entrepreneur that I interview on my podcast consistently, weekly. I now have to step into entrepreneurship. And what I talk about on my podcast is that some people take leaps into entrepreneurship and they're ready for it. Like they got money saved, they got all this stuff they got and they're ready for it, right? They got income coming in already from their business. So they got money coming in. And then some people have unintentional leaps where you're forced out of position. You're faced with this crossroad. Your back is against a wall and you're like, what do I do from here? What skill set do I have? What can I start making money with right away? And the first thing people tell you to do, go drive for Uber, go do Uber Eats, go do Instacart, go do Ship. They tell you to do all that kind of stuff, which is still good things to do because it keeps money coming in. But when you've been at such a high salary and you have to go down to making no more than like $100 a day, it's money, but it doesn't put a dent into what you have going on and the overhead that you have. And so in making this, the reason why I wanted to make this video is because I think it's important, one, to share what I'm going through, what I'm currently going through, which is my financial hardships, right? Trying to figure out ways to bring in that steady stream of income. Income is coming in, but it's not steady. So it's like, how do you figure out that way to bring in that steady stream of income? And so now you turn to social media. People are making millions off their platforms. YouTube here, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. People are just doing so much. And I say to myself, well, you have the podcast, it's growing, you have an audience there. Try to now utilize your audience. Try now to grow your influence. Make YouTube a profession for you. Now, granted, I'm not no young creator, right? I'm not. But yet and still, I still have creativity. I still have things that I can do, and I still can capture people's attention. But what I know for sure is that I would never work for someone else again. I will never do it. I don't want someone else to have the power to take my livelihood from me again. It hurts too much. It's too much anxiety. It's too much fear attached to it. I've been praying. I've been on this journey of really shifting my mindset, reading the right books, listening to the right podcasts, praying daily, spending time with God, manifesting, and asking God that I would no longer be a person who owes someone. I would no longer be a person who would be in a position where my home can be taken from me. I would no longer be that person who would be in a position where my car can be taken from me. I will be that person who's in that position where she pays cash for her home. She pays cash for the car she wants. She makes her own money coming in. She has multiple streams of income coming in. That's what I'm praying for. That's what I'm manifesting for. Because I don't want to set myself up for this again. I don't want my future or my finances to be in the hands of someone else's job. And it's not even the organization. It's the boss that you work for. It's your superiors. They're the ones that hold your future, your livelihood. I'm not going to say your future because they can't predict that. That was the wrong word. Your livelihood, your current livelihood in their hands. Because a lot of us, if we lose our job today, it's hard for us to save. Things are so expensive, groceries, mortgage, rent, you got kids, you got all this stuff that you're trying to do that is so hard to save. Even when you're two people, even when you're a married couple, it's hard to save. So what is it that you do? You have to find a way to create your own independence, your own financial independence. And so that's what this video is for. That's what my channel is for right now. This is me creating my own financial independence. That's what the podcast is for. That's another avenue for me to create my own financial independence. I'm beginning to do digital products. That's another avenue for me. Push come to some, I'm telling you right now. If it happens where I have to leave my home, which I'm sitting in right now, recording this video, I can rent this home out. This is my real estate property. This is another stream of income for me. I can do Airbnb. I can do short-term rentals for traveling nurses. So when you're in a tight situation, you think of so many things that you could possibly do. But nobody wants to be uprooted from the comforts of their home. Nobody do. But I know that God will make a way, and that all I have to do is believe and put my faith in action. And that's what this video is today. This is my faith in action. This is me telling you, don't let no one take something from you. Make sure you have some other type of side hustle, some other stream of income coming in, because your financial independence should just belong and depend on you, not the job, not that paycheck that you get every 2 weeks. Because if it's gone, then what happens? If it's gone and then you can't find a new job, because I didn't even talk about the fact that I looked for a new job for a while. I just haven't been able to find anything. And at first I thought it was just me. I thought, well, hell, maybe it's me. Maybe it's my age, because ageism is real. And I'm not 22 and 30. I'm not one of those young girls that can go into an organization and they're just looking for those young people. I come with an age and I come with experience, a lot of experience. So my salary requirements are a lot higher. So it's just one of those things where if you can't find a job, what do? You find other ways to bring in money, which is, like I said, we go to the Uber Eats, the Instacarts, but with online digital products. My goal is to be able to make money while I'm sleeping, to have evergreen content that continuously make money for you. You can't get that working for Uber and Instacart. You just can't. You have to go out there and drive every day, picking up orders, dropping off, doing it every day, that hard work every day in order to make ends meet. But with the creation of digital products, online income, you can make money while you're sleeping. And so being that I know this, being that I've seen it happen, being that I've talked to so many entrepreneurs who are so successful with digital and product-based businesses, services, digital and product-based businesses, I know I can do it. So what you're going to begin to see on this channel is my testimony, my transformation, my opportunity to create the life I want, my opportunity to create residual income, my opportunity to never be put in a position where someone can take something from me again. That's what I want you to know, that's what you're going to see on this channel. You're going to see me persevere through these hard times, no matter what. And I'm going to tell you right now, it hasn't been easy with me telling this story. It really hasn't, because a lot of time when we face hardship, we don't want people to know. I'm one of those friends, those strong friends, where I don't want you to know what I'm going through. I'm just going to go through it. I'm going to conquer it, and you're going to see me come out on the top. And so I feel like sharing right now and telling everyone about this is me just really being vulnerable and being myself and just saying, I don't always have all the answers. Things happen in life, but the one thing I know is that I got to have faith and I got to believe that God has a greater plan for me. So every day I'm going to get up. Every day I'm going to work hard towards pushing out content, bringing out new YouTube videos, pushing out more podcast episodes. And God, one day everything is going to change for me. And so I'm happy that I'm able to tell this story. I'm happy that I've been able to share this story, because I don't know, maybe it'll resonate with you, somebody. But if you, like me, and don't want to be put in a position where people can take anything from you anymore, then let's get on the road to building our true financial freedom, because that's what we really want in life. You don't want to have to go and ask someone for 2 weeks off for your vacation just for them to say you can't do it. You don't want to have to be penalized because your child got sick and you got to take your child to the hospital, or you have to stay home with your child and your job don't understand. You don't have to deal with the workplace gossip. You don't want to have to deal with the boss that think they own the company when they work there just like you. It's like eventually you get tired of it. And I think I just got tired. Even with me applying, I just felt like I don't feel like sitting in front of people convincing them why I need their job. I just didn't. I know I can do this. I know I have what it takes. I know things grow over time, but I'm going to still pursue them, and I'm going to move forward. All I can do is ask for you guys who are watching to pray for me, drop me some encouraging words down in the comments. Let me know if you're going through anything right now that might be hard in your life that you're facing and you need encouragement. And we can just take this journey together, believing in ourselves and knowing that God is going to make a way. I am Shaunie Sanders, guy. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.